Hey, what is up everyone? Corinne here bringing you another video, and this time it's just going to be a quick update for Black Desert. What we've recently had is the Calpheon Banquet of 2020. This is kind of like an event that's hosted at the end of every year with Black Desert, kind of giving a roadmap going forward. And I wanted to bring up this news because it gives us kind of a look into what's upcoming. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about just Black Desert as a whole and if it's worth coming back to. Recently, as you've seen on my videos, I've been uploading Black Desert mobile content, and so I thought it was a good time to actually hop back in to traditional Black Desert as well. And the biggest thing that I'm excited for is specifically the new Guardian class. So without further ado, let's take a look at the Calpheon Banquet of 2020 with the development plans. First and foremost, the main thing that they were kind of bringing out is they were going to be talking about succession. For those of you who haven't played Black Desert in a while, there was an introduction of the succession system, which kind of brought back the original skill set, kind of like how Absolute Skills did, but they improved and kind of adjusted the play style of each individual character towards a hybrid of both awakening and pre-awakening, but you're strictly using your pre-awakening weapon. For example, on my tamer, I now have all-around spinner with my short sword, and then they improve certain skills while also taking away from others. All in all, at least in my experience with the succession system, the damage output from succession is insane and crazy good for PvE. But as a whole, it definitely doesn't seem like a PvP change, at least from a tamer perspective, from my experience, because they lost a lot of utility for basically blocking and iframes and things like that. Now, this is the information that I am the most excited for. Guardian. Guardian is going to be the new class that's actually going into pre-registration on the 15th of January. Pre-registration just meaning that you can make your character and have it customized and ready to play. Now, with the Guardian introduction and pre-registration happening on the 15th, the introduction of the Guardian class in North America and Europe is going to be on the 22nd. Now, the big thing is we are not going to be having their awakening, which y'all see it. My original, my OG, having a two-handed axe or two-handed mace awakening. Now, the Guardian class is not going to be releasing with its awakening right away, and so this is going to be something that we're going to probably end up seeing, I would say, sometime mid-February to like early March is my estimation. But I am 100% getting back into BDO and giving this class a try because y'all know me, dude. I'm a Zerker. I've always been a Zerker, but like Berserkers in Black Desert, we're not the true kind. This is the true kind. So I'm praying that this kind of lines up with how I want to play the class or what I enjoyed of playing the Terror Berserker. So with this, you're going to be taking a look. So make an impact with the Black Spirit to lose her memories, but in that sense, she's now going to have this two-handed axe or two-handed mace. And from the overall Guardian play style, it's kind of interesting because the approach that they're taking isn't necessarily this super fast, super mobile class like we see with a lot of Black Desert characters, but more so one that is like a upfront brute force type of playstyle, exactly like what we saw in Terra, when I could pop my Malking Shout, pop my Tenacity, and just run into people. And I'm really hoping that kind of same flavor and playstyle rotates into the Guardian. So make sure y'all come hang out on the 22nd. I will be streaming that day 100% to go, like, basically level up this Guardian class. I got a ton of XP boosts ready for it. Next up, they're finally introducing a couple of more regions or areas of the game which look just straight up astonishing. So Odalita is one that has been in the making for quite some time. Like, we've known of this area for over a year at this point, and we were just kind of wondering, when is it actually going to be coming out? So this is going to kind of add on to the regions, to the overall like play areas, and I'm really hoping that this isn't just like a pure max level area. And I hope they don't make the mistakes whenever they introduce like Kama and things like that, where I want to have something that drives players here rather than just doing a story quest and then being forced into like groups or not having the like high AP for it. The recent additions and buffs to drops in all the old areas, Valencia, Kama, Dragoon, all those things are like they helped a lot with kind of the liveliness and giving it a valid area to, you know, rotate into. So I really hope with the addition of this new area, it will, you know, kind of keep the torch running essentially. But you can take a look just at these like screenshots. This kind of reminds me a lot of the Karuto forest, but as a whole, like just the dense forestry and things like that is really cool. This looks amazing, like straight up, because you actually see the building over here, which is overlooking like a rocky cliff face, right? Having the water right here. I'm pretty interested to kind of see just how much you're actually going to be traversing through this and how much of a requirement having a boat is going to be, since, you know, in the past they have been massively expanding the overall like water focus of Black Desert, you know, giving the sailing, giving sailors, introducing the bartering system. There's been tons of changes in the recent past that have kind of emphasized more water focus with Black Desert, which I personally think is really, really cool. Now we look at the new capital, which I personally really enjoy this kind of architecture. You know, it's that like old English, you know, large cathedrals, cobblestone paths and everything like that, with this like you actually see how there's a waterway running here. And so it's pretty exciting to see this kind of large scale city, almost like a Calpheon, right? Like Calpheon's a lot more colorful, more like Renaissance, that kind of a deal, but this looks more medieval, I guess. So I'm really interested to take a look at kind of the area and the overall color palette that they decided to go with this, which is more like these mossy greens and like ancient ruins. I like this aesthetic, and my fiance will hate me for calling it that, but that's how I want to say it, because I never really enjoyed going to the desert. Like literally I never go to the desert because I hate how it looks, I hate the areas, I hate everything about it. Kama was really cool. I didn't mind like farming there because I like the green and greenery and everything, but this kind of mountainous terrain with the like moss and everything, and this kind of perpetuates this, right? You're going into like this ruinous like temple type area, which obviously these are going to be the high level zones. These are going to be like the max level as a whole, and so we're gonna probably not be able to clear this because I pen rouletted my gear and everything died whenever I last quit. But regardless, we'll be hopeful and see how we can move forward. Another really exciting information that was kind of given to us, which we knew that this was coming out to some degree, but the Thornwood Castle. Now, Thornwood Castle, what is super exciting about this is it's a PvP and PvE environment. Okay, and this is basically the replacement for Red Battlefield. Red Battlefield always felt like one of those places that I would just end up going into and getting just like shit stomped essentially, and you know, the only goal was to kill the other player. This is a unique combination of PvP and PvE. Think Freywind Canyon, guys. Like, being a tamer, I am a skirmish class. I want to run around the sides and try and pick like one or two people. So if like two people or like three people go off to like tag a specific mob or get a, you know, a PvE objective, my class is going to actually do something essentially, rather than being a 100% Black Spirit just bot. And so this is super exciting, and it's going to add a whole nother level of flavor to the PvP and PvE. And what I'm really, really hoping here is that it is worthwhile, essentially. I mean, everyone remembers when Shadow Arena was out, which, may it, God rest its soul. I wish it would come back, but it's actually coming out as its own separate game they've announced. But Shadow Arena was like, I could run that all day, every day, and make a ton of silver, get a ton of enchantment materials, and it was just fun. It was just really, really fun to play. And so I hope that Thornwood Castle yields good like rewards for those who want to play it, and they don't nerf it to the ground like they did with Shadow Arena. Now, this is information that's going to be quite a bit later. For those of you who haven't played Black Desert in a long time, they introduced Blackstar. Blackstar is literally the end game, right? As far as weapons, and now armor. Now, Blackstone weapons are extremely hard to obtain and enchant. They have a lower chance of succeeding basically the enchant. Like, I watched a guy with a 300 fail stack have a like 5% chance to get a pen black star, which is just insane to me, right? But this will be the new end game gear. And the cool thing about Blackstar specifically, the higher that you actually enchant it, the more these little like red, kind of like these little red tinctures on the gear and on the weapon, the higher you enchant it, the more it actually glows. So it just has its own really cool particle effects with it. And the last little bit that we're going to get in the oncoming future is Papa Crinium. Papue Crinium, which is the island basically of the little blue, like fox type people, as well as the little otter people that we've seen. I don't quite know what this is going to be exactly doing. I think you pick a side and it's going to be like a little faction war type thing. I don't think they're going to be doing too much with it, but hopefully it's something kind of cool. And I think this will help with getting more and more people out into the waters, because this is going to be on its own totally separate island. But I just wanted to go over kind of the new upcoming things for Black Desert coming within 2020, and just tell people like, hey guys, they've done a lot to the game. There's a lot of like pretty solid catch-up mechanics, and if you haven't played since like the introduction of Succession, you could literally play your class in an entirely different way. So go ahead and give it a try, guys. I hope to see you all here, but thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all on BDO. Peace.